Sometimes you fail a lift and you go to yourself, man, I've got no idea what happened there. Could be anything. I don't know what failed me. I don't know if it's the technique, poor balance, this muscle failure, that muscle failure. Sometimes you got no idea and you just kind of walk away and you're like, oh, whatever, I'll just make a diagnosis and try and hammer that. And if it doesn't work, change it up. But today for this 270, I was, for some reason, getting this idea that my upper back was just too weak. I just could not keep my lats down. I could not keep my shoulder blades down. And the more I pushed into the bar, the more I felt like the shoulders were letting go and I was tipping forward and my back was scopping it and it was just a bad position. That's the overriding feeling that I had today with this 270. I've never tried 270, not to my knowledge. 240, I felt like popped off that ground like nobody's business. And I thought, shit, man, I got to try something here, man. And once again, I'm off a night shift. So there's a pattern here forming, isn't it? Last week, after a night shift, I felt good with squats. Today, I felt like I was a hingemaster.com. Felt really strong in my core. So I thought, why not? But there's multiple things that need to go right for the thing to happen. And I felt today was the upper back letting go. And I've been doing a lot of upper back bodybuilding, lat pull down this way, lat pull down that way, row this way, row that way, all sorts of stuff. But today I had this hunger for rows. So I did my 50 kilos. I ended up doing a couple more sets than usual. I did 5 sets of 10 with the 50 dumbbells. And then after that, I went over to the barbell. Then I tried to do some barbell rows. Really, it should have been the other way around. Barbell first and then dumbbell second because my back was fried before I even got to the heavier barbell. So I'm having thoughts of reintroducing barbell rows now that I'm, doing core work, now that I'm doing such a large split 5 days. So I think there's going to be lots of time to recover. So I'm going to get back into barbell rowing like I did in AMRAP sets. And I don't know why. I'm having this feeling that that's the solution to this. I will do lat pull downs as well here and there. But as you guys know, I'm in the midst of just variation galore, so I'll do it all. But today I felt like the upper back, the shoulder blades were not doing the right thing. And now you would think that lat pull down is the solution, but for some reason when I do lat pull downs, I feel it more kind of in my arms. Even if I go wide, go narrow, I always feel it in my arms. And at the top of the rep, or let's say at the bottom of the rep, when the bar's at my chest, I feel like my shoulders are kind of like up next to my ears. I have trouble getting them down and using the lats, if you know what I mean. Whereas with barbell rowing, I feel like my lats are, going up and down, and I'm able to kind of, shorten them effectively. And so I think barbell rows is going to be the more carryover to the deadlift. But that doesn't mean the lat pull downs are not going to do anything either. So I think more upper back business on these days. And let's see what happens. For some reason, the quad work has improved the squats. And then when I squat really well, then I deadlift really well. So, and the fact, that I was in two minds about deadlifting at all today. I did some squats and I was like, should I deadlift today? Then I thought, okay, the way I sold it to myself was, let's just practice, man. I need to be able to practice deadlifting as well, kind of like I'm doing with squats. You need to be kind of fresh with the movement. For some reason, the last few times I've deadlifted, I've kind of forgotten how to set up at the bottom, like the kneeling deadlift. I've forgotten how to do that, and my knees are kind of like awkwardly uncomfortable when I do that. So that just goes to show you that I've lost my touch with deadlifting. I've lost the pull. I've lost the setup. So these things need to be practiced for you to be good. You can slap on a whole stack of muscle. That's all fantastic. No one's going to say nothing towards that, but you still need to be able to be a skillful athlete, skillful lifter for you to actually do the skill that we want to. So, to think to yourself, just do bodybuilding and never do any powerlifting is that's not the right move either. Powerlifting is a skill, strength is a skill, strength is very specific. And if you move away from a particular skill, you will get worse. So this idea that just slap on endless amounts of muscle and you'll be 4 weeks away from peaking into a block and becoming a master of the deadlift and the squat, that is wrong, man. That is really, really wrong. There needs to be a combination There needs to be a ratio between the two genres of lifting. There needs to be, the yin and the yang. Of course, I was stubborn for many years, and I thought bodybuilding is much, much less of a factor. Now I'm attributing bodybuilding to a lot of my progress, and I think it's a must. However, you need to pay respect for the big compound lifts as well. A lot of these stuff was swirling in my mind the other night. I haven't finished the whole podcast, but the other night I was watching Shannon and Ronnie Coleman podcast. And in there, obviously, Ronnie Coleman is a shadow of his former self, but lots of the good discussions, lots of good ideas. Obviously, the man wasn't a foreigner to great lifting, and obviously one of the best bodybuilders of the world in history. He said that predominantly all of his training was with the free weights, barbells and dumbbells, and that was kind of another thing that kind of motivated me today, just to do barbells and dumbbells, free weights. I kept thinking to myself, well, if it's good enough for Ronnie Coleman, somebody like that, it's good enough for me as well. Obviously machines definitely have a place, I'm not saying that, but today I had a motivation. I had definitely a want to do the dumbbells and the barbells. So I will definitely be doing rowing and dumbbell stuff more and more, with probably emphasis. Like today I try to lift the heaviest dumbbell that I possibly could, for a set of 10, which is the 50s. But to be honest with you, I probably had better connection with the 40s. However, having that said, with the 40s, I have this tendency to, do a lot of bicep action. Whereas with the 50s, the biceps step out fairly quickly. And so then you have to row towards your pockets. You have to roll, a certain way to move the weight. The biceps are not going to be able to freaking kill a 50 kilo dumbbell. And this is where sheer weight is a very good idea. The heavy weight is something special because, after a certain level of weight, you can't do whatever the hell you want to do with it. The lats are much more stronger than the biceps, and so if you're there using a 50 kilo dumbbell or something very, very heavy for you, it's going to start to turn into a lift where more muscle is available to recruit. Lot to think about, but I think once again the upper back is on my mind. I remember during the AMRAP period, I was very cognizant of my lack of upper back strength. Doing the 9th and the 10th rep of the squats, 11th rep, my upper back was screaming, killing me. The traps, the rear delts, I simply couldn't hold the bar anymore, let alone squat it. And so once again, I'm kind of getting reminded that this is something that I need to work on. And I have been working on, but I think there's something special about barbell rowing and its variations. Supinated, pronated grip, wide, narrow, just mixing all that up. And I will be mixing it up. I will have a lot of variation in it. But it's something that needs to happen with me. The lats feel okay when I do a lat pull down, but I don't know why. I just have this problem of engaging, the short portion of the lats in a lat pull down. I just feel like my shoulders rise. I don't know why. Like when the hands are over top, I just can't pinch my lats. Whereas maybe it's a mobility thing, who knows? But when my hands are right in front of me, like in a row, I have the ability to contract the lats. Up above, I feel like it's teres major and minor. I feel like I'm shrugging while I'm lat pull downing, if that makes any sense. It's a shrug and then pull. And I hate that. I want to have go down, but I don't know what the muscle is. It makes sense, right? The weight's over your head. You're pulling up or pulling down rather. And so everything, even your shoulder blades are going to want to rise. So you have to resist that. But I have trouble mentally telling myself not to allow that to happen. So it happens. And then I'm kind of like, doing it, which is fantastic, but I feel like I'm getting lit up in the damn forearms and the biceps and of course the lats are working as well, but it's not the primary thing. What fails me is the arms. And I don't think that's the right stimulus that I need right now. Obviously, bodybuilding is great, slapping on muscle everywhere is fantastic, but I just feel I could be spending my time a little bit better in terms of translation to what I need. And lats, man, lats is such a powerful muscle. And now that I'm sitting here thinking about it, I'm like, man, how much of that AMRAP period was just simply barbell rows? It's a question that I've kind of been asking myself the whole session today, especially after that 270 attempt. I'm like, man, how much of that AMRAP period was just me freaking rowing like a maniac? Like 2-3 times a week I was rowing. I was doing lightweight, dude. Like I was doing 60 kilos. Today I tried 100 kilos. You'll see it here. It's shit. It's like lower back. It's a lot of everything. I don't feel connected to it, but I just thought, screw it, I just want to move some weight. And I did move weight, but a lot of people will say, yeah, that's okay, Ivan, like it doesn't look that bad. But to me, just like, I don't know, man. It's a lot of English, body English, although it doesn't look too bad on the screen, but when I have 60 kilos, just one plate, I'm like there really, really focusing on what's happening. And it feels better to me. And obviously the AMRAP period was a success. Obviously, I did lots of things. I don't want to just disregard everything that I did during the AMRAP period. But I just feel like the barbell rows was such a large part of it because it's such a weakness for me. And so when you do something that's really weak on you, there seems to be like a quick response. The body just catches up, really quickly. And you see that translation when you're strengthening the weakest link. And today, again, freaking hell, the last just couldn't keep my shoulder blades down. Could not keep them down. I just kept rolling up. The more I pulled, I just couldn't get tight. Basically, I could not get tight. And that's the bottom line. You need to be able to get so freaking tight off the floor in a deadlift just to make the thing move. Appreciate you guys. I will catch you in the next one. Peace out.